Another thing that I wanted to explore with you is the impact of media and social media and the images that are out there, very conflicting images about like the representation of Black people in media and social media. You have, on one hand, you've got people like Oprah and people who've really risen to the top against all odds, and then you have your athletes, and then the musicians, the Cardi B's, etc. You also have images of Haitian migrants on the border being harassed by law enforcement. First, what is the impact of all of this on the mental health of especially young African Americans coming up? And how do we make sure that it doesn't become toxic?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I have two a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old. And so my husband and I are always curating what they watch and trying to balance out what they see. And if we can't do that, then we're talking about what they see to try to help them have a critical approach to digesting what they're seeing. And so this is beautiful. First of all, the podcast, telling our own stories. And I think that's what's going to have to happen more. So independent or, government affiliated institutions that help to tell the stories. It's so important because not seeing oneself represented can be toxic to a person's ability to actualize or see what's possible. And not just for Black Americans, but for all people to have a conception of this idea of who Black people are and have these extremes, like you mentioned, but not enough in the middle. And I actually think it's really important to think about research scientists and potentially the support of them having skills in documentary work. We think about interventions and trying to affect population health, but we know that many of our interventions and a lot of our research does not get disseminated to the public in ways that it can really have a strong impact on outcomes. But we facilitate storytelling through either quantitative or qualitative data. And so there's so much that we're not seeing about, I shouldn't say the average American or average Black American, but those stories are not told. As you were talking, I don't know why my mind actually went to Delroy Lindo, the actor, who is an example of many of the roles he plays or the many of the ways he articulates his work in film and the arts is really that middle of the road balance that we don't see. It's not all this flash and it's not like this person that's extremely vulnerable. It's a person that has developed his craft and he's really, I can't find the word, the classy comes to mind. You think about someone who has self-respect and honors himself, all of that. And we don't see enough, particularly of Black males on TV. So I know I'm long-winded with my answers, but I think there's room for us as scientists. I think we will reach more of the younger generation if we add that to our training in some way of scientists, because young people aren't as willing as I think some of people my generation or the ones before me to wait so long to have an impact because they have access to ways to reach people through Instagram and Twitter and their own web pages. But we want them to curate, like you said before, evidence-based information, reliable, high-quality information so that it goes further along. And so for scientists, doctors of philosophy, mental health nurses who are MPs across the board, like if we have that as an additional tool for dissemination, that would really be excellent.
I agree. We have an African saying, until the story of the hunt is told by the lion, the story will always glorify the hunter. So it's absolutely critical to be able to share this inspiration with new generations.